Hello, everyone, and welcome in to opening day here at Herman Brothers Field as the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks take on your Matsu Miners in an opening day contest. The Chinooks, with 2 games under their belt, they are 1-1, and your Miners, this is their first game of the season, and they're at home. This is Brad Walker. Alongside me is Connor Mills, and as we said in the pregame show, we'll be bringing you Matsu Miner coverage all season long, so we are very glad to have you with us here tonight. To run through the starters for the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks, their starting lineup goes as follows. Leading it off in center field is Seth Bollinger. Following him is the left fielder Bailey Collins. In the 3-hole is third baseman Jordan Wharton. Batting cleanup tonight is the designated hitter, Nick Kreutzer. In the 5th spot is Luke Vandover playing second. In the 6th spot is J. Paul Fullerton playing catcher. Following him is Jaron Largusa in right. And in the 8th spot is Danny Dopp playing first base. And rounding it off in the 9-hole is the shortstop, Gregory Osuna. On the mound tonight for the Miners is the hometown, Wasilla's very own, Nolan Monaghan. Number 6, the lefty, is on the mound tonight, as we just said, from Wasilla, out of Feather River Community College out in California. And Connor, Nolan really had some great innings last year for the Miners, looking to do quite the same this year.
Yes, he is. Nolan, like we said in the pregame, went to Feather River Community College, pitched to a record of 5-2 with an ERA of 3.51. Over the summer for the Miners last year, he went 3-1, worked his way into the starting rotation, and had an ERA of 3.17. So we're excited to see how Monaghan will do starting off this season.
So stepping in now is the center fielder for the Chinooks, Seth Bollinger. The center fielder out of University Texas Arlington in the hometown of Carthage, Texas. He's a lefty standing in there, so lefty on lefty matchup to start this game. Nolan Monaghan's first pitch of the season is low and in the dirt for ball 1. So the Miners start out the season on a ball 1-0 count. As we have an absolutely beautiful evening for baseball here in Palmer, Alaska. Monaghan's 1-0. Hit fouled back there by Bollinger over the left side of the press box to even up the count at 1. Miners looking for a 3-peat this season as they've won back-to-back ABL championships. And definitely a talented roster with the opportunity to do so, as Monaghan's 1-1 is high and outside for ball 2, so they'll fall behind 2-1. Going back to that, the Miners, led by head skipper Ben Taylor, has Monaghan's 2-1 pitch. It just misses off that outside corner, and Bollinger has worked into a hitter's count 3-1 to lead this game off. This is head skipper's Ben Taylor's 6th season at the helm of the Miners. He's definitely had a lot of success. The 3-1 from Monaghan is low and outside, for strike 2, so full count. For the leadoff Bollinger, Monaghan on the mound, works from the wind. He winds and delivers. Swinging through strike 3 is Bollinger. Monaghan got him with the off speed for out number 1 of the Minor season and strikeout number 1 for Monaghan season.
Always a great way to start the season. Ran it full, got the strikeout.
Stepping in is left fielder Bailey Collins. Another lefty here for the Chinooks. Monaghan's first pitch to him is belted in the left center field, well over Connor Denon's head, and it'll drop over it. One hop, he receives it, throws in, but not in time before Collins with the stand-up double. So the Chinooks get their first hit of the game off Collins' double to left field.
And that's going back to the inexperience we were talking about as well in the pregame. Denning is new out there. Of course, he's played there 3 years ago, but 3 years of inexperience now in the outfield. Kind of got turned around when looking for the ball.
And especially in this summer league where guys are using the wooden bats, are required to use the wooden bats instead of coming off the composite. Monaghan's first pitch to Wharton is in for a strike. 0-1 is the count to Jordan Wharton, the third baseman for the Chinooks. He steps in, batting third today. The first righty of the Chinooks lineup. So with one out, here in the top of the first inning, Collins stands on second, as Monaghan gave up the double to him. And you're right, Connor. Denning just seemed to be a little unsure once that ball came off the bat of Collins.
Yeah, started running towards center field, then got turned around, eventually found the ball, but not in time.
Monaghan checking the runner, fires one in. Got Wharton to check, looks down to the second base umpire. He says he did not go, so that'll tie up the count at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the top of the first inning here at Herman Brothers Field. Still no score in the top half of the first inning between the Chinooks and Miners. Monaghan kicks and fires the 1-1 that is fouled off to the right side and behind the bleachers to bring the count to 1-2. So Monaghan looking for his second strikeout of the game. But the Chinooks definitely threatening with only 1 down and a man on second. Monaghan, quick check over to second. Collins with the nice lead over there. Monaghan delivers a ball in the dirt. Avita stops it, but had trouble picking it up. He throws down to third, but will not be in time. So Collins will advance there on that pitch low and in the dirt. Avita with a nice stop, but unfortunately that ball just got caught up right next to Wharton's back foot. He's the righty. And obviously Wharton doesn't have to move because he's in the batter's box. And unfortunately for Avita, he could not get the throw over there in time. So the 2-2 to Wharton misses just on that outside corner. Avita tried to frame it for his pitcher, but home plate umpire was not having it. We have another full count, our second of the inning, with just 1 out and a man on third for the Chinooks. Monaghan delivers. This ball smacked into left field. Denning once again sort of misplaces it, and this ball will roll to the wall. Collins comes in to score, and Wharton makes his way over to second, so he'll have a 1 out, 1 RBI double to give the Chinooks their first lead in this game, 1-0.
That ball was hit on the nose. Really nothing that Denning could have done there.
Batting the DH number 44, Nick Kreutzer.
Would have been a tough play for him to make.
Great 2-out hitting definitely by Jordan Wharton there, as he took that pitch exactly where it was. Didn't try to do too much with it. Just simply lofted it well out of Denning's range. So not much, as you just said, Connor could do on that play. 1 out, Monaghan delivers to the cleanup hitter, Nick Kreutzer, who fouls it straight back for strike 1. And Nick Kreutzer's first at-bat. Kreutzer out of Westminster, Colorado, and attends school at Arkansas Pine Bluff. He's once again another lefty for the Chinooks. He'll look at ball 1 high and in the middle of the zone. So unfortunately for Nolan Monaghan, not exactly getting quite the start he wanted. It looked very promising with that first strikeout to the leadoff man, Bollinger, but after that, has kind of been struggling a little bit out there on the mound, but still has that 1 out as he delivers the 1-1 high and away for ball 2. Chinooks leading the Miners right now in the top of the first inning, 1-0. Still threatening with only 1 out, and Wharton standing on second off his RBI double. Nolan Monaghan, the southpaw, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. The 2-1, that's a liner down the right field line, but just foul, as Kreutzer definitely caught a lot of that, but was just ahead of it. The Monaghan works to a 2-2 count with 1 out as he works for the second out. The Miners down 13 players this game due to guys being out for regionals or simply right now making their trek up to Alaska. So playing with a shortened roster is the 2-2 from Monaghan, high and inside. Once again, another full count, the third full count of this inning. So 3 out of the 4 batters, Connor, have worked their way to a full.
Really working Monaghan, forcing him to throw strikes. And when he does throw strikes, they've been hitting it to left field.
The 3-2 from Monaghan. Swung and missed there by Kreutzer. So Monaghan gets his second strikeout of the night, and that'll be the second out of the inning. Kreutzer simply just swung through a high fastball.
Now batting, second baseman number 5.
So with 2 outs, the second baseman, Luke Vandover, steps in. The righty out of Little Rock, Arkansas, attends Harding University. So with 2 outs, Jordan Wharton still stands on second, so Chinooks still with the opportunity to tack on another run with already this 1-0 lead. Monaghan's pitch from the stretch is low and inside for strike 1. 0-1 to Luke Vandover. This is the Miners' 42nd season of summer baseball. Monaghan checking the runner over at second. He'll deliver the 0-1. That's low and in the middle of the plate for ball 1 to even up the count at 1. Wind blowing in from center field tonight, as obviously that Alaskan sun still out and lighting up the field. The 1-1 from Monaghan. Fouled well back over the press box, really right over our heads, right behind home plate for strike number 2. 1-2 count, 2 down. Chinooks with a 1-0 lead in the top half of this first inning. So Chinooks jumping on Monaghan early, but he's working his way back, and it looks to get this third out. He kicks from the stretch, delivers the 1-2. Got Vandover swinging through a high pitch. That'll end the inning as Monaghan gets 3 strikeouts, but unfortunately the Chinooks on 2 straight doubles do get a first run on the board. Chinooks lead the Miners 1-0 here in Palmer. Roll right back on Miners.com. Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field, the site of the Mat-Su Miners home field, as the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks leading the Mat-Su Miners currently 1-0 as they got 1 run in the top half of that inning on back-to-back doubles from Bailey Collins and Jordan Wharton. Really excellent piece of hitting from both of those two, taking pitches into deep left field. But the Miners look to tie this one back up as we enter the bottom half of the inning, and we'll run through your Miners lineup. Leading it off today for Mat-Su is the shortstop Drew Swift, followed by second baseman Brett Owen. The catcher David Avitia is third hole, and batting cleanup is third baseman Danny Wright. Following him, first baseman Chugiak-Eagle. In the 6th spot, Connor Denning, the left fielder. In the 7th spot, Braden Merritt in center, followed by right fielder Tristan Woods, and rounding it out is the pitcher Nolan Monaghan as Drew Swift looks at a low and inside ball for 1-0. Becomes the count. Swift out of Arizona State and Chandler, Arizona. from Chandler, Arizona, attends Arizona State. Swings at the second pitch of the bottom half of the inning, fouls it to the left side to even up the count at 1. Uniforms, the Chinooks wearing that red jersey and gray pants, and the Miners in their all home whites. And that's an inside pitch, very close to Swift's elbow there on the high and inside. Just broke in as 17, Bryan Pope, the right-hander on the mound for the Chinooks. The 2-1 from him. Swung on by Swift, and that's bouncing in the hole between short and third. He runs it out. So Drew Swift with the first hit of the game and the first hit of his season for the Miners. The leadoff hitter gets on. You can't ask for much more, Connor.
No, you can't. Hit it in the spot where they could get it.
Number 1,
And actually, shortstop Uzana was there, but unfortunately had to range too far over to his left and couldn't make the throw. So stepping in now is second baseman Brett Owen from Kansas State University as Swift stands on first. Pope delivers to Owen, who looks at strike 1 low and in the middle of the plate. Owen, the right-handed second baseman, bats right-handed as well. Pope looks over at Swift. He'll throw over, but Swift comes back in time. Swift's lead isn't too really aggressive, as they are down 1 and would definitely like to keep Speedy Swift on the mound. Quick throw over by Pope. So just after Pope came set, he throws over, trying to get Swift off guard. Pope sets and delivers. Owen swings through for strike 1. Off speed really had Brett Owen on his toes. Excuse me, that was strike 2. 0-2 count to Brett Owen in the bottom half of the first inning. Pope checks over at Swift, but once again slides in safely.
Pope's really worried about the speed on first.
Pope's 0-2. Owen lays off as that was low and away. With the off-speed pitch from Bryan Pope. The right-hander out of California Baptist University. Excuse me, right-hander. Pope's 1-2. Slapped by Owen. That's a light pop into center field, and Ballinger comes in to make the grab for out number 1 of the inning. And as David Avitia comes up to the plate, we'll run through the defensive lineup for the Chinooks. Fullerton's behind the plate. Dopp over at first, Vandover at second, Usana at short, Wharton at third, Collins in left, Ballinger in center, and Largusa in right. That's your Chinooks defensive lineup. And now stepping in, the right-hander, David Avitia. As Pope checks Swift once again. 1 down here in the bottom half of the inning. Chinooks leading the Miners 1-0. Miners with Swift on first as he dives back as Pope trying to pick him off once again. Pope really concerned over there by Swift's speed, Connor.
Yeah, Swift has a lot of speed, but he didn't show it during his college season. Only had 3 stolen bases.
And he is on the move now. And he'll slide in safely with no throw as Chinooks catcher Fullerton tried to come up with it, but unfortunately the ball wasn't there when he tried to throw it down. Juggled it just a little bit. So Swift sides in safely. That'll be his first stolen base of the season and the first stolen base of the season for the Miners. So Swift stands on second with only 1 out. And the catcher, David Avitia, standing in. The right-hander out of Grand Canyon University. Looks at strike 1, low and inside. Count evened up at 1 now with 1 out. Pope, the right-hander, out of the stretch. Does not have a windup, we noticed, when he was pitching to Swift. So he'll check Swift over at second. Kick and deliver. Avita swinging. Soft liner over to the left fielder, Collins, who makes the grab for out number 2 of the inning, and Swift will jog back to second. 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Miners trailing 1-0.
Your third baseman, number 7.
And now stepping into the plate is switch hitting third baseman Danny Wright, wearing number 7. Danny Wright out of Southeast Missouri. Miners would really like to drive in Swift, who stands out on second after stealing a base. Pope delivers to Wright. Low and away for strike 1. Really painted that outside corner. Lower outside corner, I may add. They say pitchers don't like to cut corners. They paint them. Bryan Pope 0-1 to Danny Wright. Low and inside for ball 1. Count stands at 1-1 to Danny Wright. Danny Wright batted .258 with 29 RBIs and 50 games started. Of course, the Red Hawks of Southeast Missouri. Swift with an aggressive leadoff second as Wright looks at strike 2 on that low outside corner again. Pope doing a real nice job, Connor, of working that outside half of the plate to the minor hitters.
He is. He's not really paying attention to Swift at all at second, which allows him to get that big of a lead.
And as you mentioned, not really paying attention. I don't know if he's looked over once as he does now.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah. The 1-2 to Wright. He slaps one, a low liner. Doesn't have enough. And that is caught by Collins for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Miners get one hit by leadoff hitter Drew Swift, but he will stay stranded, so the Miners will get no runs. And the score stays at 1-0. Chinooks leading the Miners. Welcome back into the broadcast here of the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks and the Matsu Miners. Chinooks leading the Miners 1-0 as we head into the second inning. Miners had Drew Swift get on to lead the inning, and he stole second, but unfortunately they couldn't do anything with it, so they were held scoreless. The Chinooks coming into this game 1-1 just had a quick 2-game series against the Glacier Pilots, in which they won 10-3 in their first matchup and then lost last night 10-8. So stepping in for the Chinooks is catcher J. Paul Fullerton, the lefty. So lefty on lefty matchup is Monaghan's first pitch to Fullerton, low and inside for ball 1. Fullerton just finished up his sophomore year at Wabash Valley College as Monaghan delivers strike 1. Monaghan winds and delivers the 1-1. Looked at by Fullerton in smart decision as he looks at ball 2. Count at 2-1. Chinooks with the 1-0 lead. Monaghan's pitch. Grounded over to the right field line, but foul before Chugiak-Eagle picks it up, the Miners' first baseman. Count sitting at 2-2. Monaghan got all 3 outs last inning on strikeouts, so would like to definitely start this inning with a strikeout as he did last inning. This pitch fouled off, line back to the left side. The 2-2 to Fullerton. Looks at it high in the middle of the plate. at around the numbers for ball 3. Once again, a full count. Fourth of this game. 4 out of the 5 Chinook batters have worked a full count. Swung through again. Monaghan gets another Chinook swinging. Has that off-speed pitch working for out number 1 of the inning.
Now batting.
The 4th strikeout for Nolan Monaghan. Connor, he's really got these Chinook hitters fooled.
Yeah, he does. After giving up the RBI, really settled down. That's 3 strikeouts in a row.
As Jaron Largusa steps in, the center fielder, the right-hander. Monaghan's first pitch to him is high and inside. Ball 1. Largusa out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Attends Biola University. He'll look at ball 2, low and on the inside half of the plate. 2-0 count. Monaghan falling behind early to Largusa. 2-0 delivered in. First strike 1, 2-1 count. With 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning, it's opening day here in Herman Brothers Field, as this is game 1 for the Mat-Su Miners, game 3 for the Chinooks. As Monaghan's 2-1 bounces on the inside half of the plate for 3-1, to move the count to 3-1, rather. Miners in quest for a 3rd consecutive ABL title. This ball on the ground to 3rd, and Wright misplays it, unfortunately. So Jaron Largusa will reach. That'll be the 3rd Chinook to reach this game, as it wasn't quite a super hard hit ball, but was at kind of an awkward angle for Danny Wright to make the play, Connor.
Whenever you have a backhand play, it's always difficult. You can't judge the ball. Kind of hopped up on him at the last second. Wasn't able to get the glove up in time.
So Largusa will reach with 1 out, as Danny Dopp, the first baseman, steps in and looks at ball 1 on the outer half of the plate. Danny Dopp, the first baseman, right-hander for the Chinooks, as Largusa is on first. Monaghan the lefty, so he definitely has the advantage, pickoff advantage, as this one is popped in the air to right. Under it is Woods, ranging over to his right to make the grab for out number 2 of the inning. So with 2 outs, stepping to the plate is Gregory Osuna, the shortstop for the Chinooks. Osuna, the right-hander, playing short tonight, would definitely like to possibly get another run here for the Chinooks as they lead 1-0. But with 2 outs and a man on first, would definitely take an extra base hit to have the thought of bringing in Largusa from first, as Monaghan delivers a first pitch strike to Osuna. Monaghan has definitely settled in after giving up the 1 run in the first inning. Monaghan's second pitch in the dirt. Nice stop by Avitia, but his throw over to first is high and over the head of Quiggle. So Largusa around second. He'll head all the way over to third on Avitia's high throw over to first. And that pitch was in the dirt. Avitia did a nice job of blocking it. And if that throw was on the money, it may have gotten him. Largusa down at first, but unfortunately just off the mark. So Largusa now stands on third, and the Chinooks are definitely threatening to put that second run on the board. They already lead 1-0. Swinging through is Osuna, bring the count to 0-2. So Nolan Monaghan looking to get his 5th strikeout of the game, and would totally erase that error by Avitia. Rather, it would not matter. Monaghan's 0-2, inside at the knees for ball 1. Made actually Osuna hop back a little bit on how inside that pitch was. So Monaghan checks the runner over on third. The southpaw kicks and delivers. Swinging through, gets Osuna swinging. Avitia throws down as that ball was in the dirt for the 3rd out. So once again, Nolan Monaghan with his 5th strikeout of the game, sets down the Chinooks here in the top half of the 2nd inning. Chinooks leading the Miners 1-0. When we come back, it'll be the bottom half, and the Miners bats will be ready to hit. Welcome back in as we are set in Palmer, Alaska. Ready for the bottom half of the 2nd inning. No score there in the top half of the inning by the Chinooks. Definitely had an opportunity as they left one man on third with 2 outs. Stepping in for the first time this season for the Miners is left-hander Chugiak-Eagle, playing first base, and this is one of these guys, Connor, that is playing in kind of an abnormal position for him. Played outfield at Grand Canyon University where he attends school, but playing first base tonight.
Yeah, he is. Really nothing he can do when they overthrow him by Avita.
But the first pitch to Quiggle from Pope is on the outside edge for ball 1. And going back to that, Chugiak-Eagle with that big frame, 6'2", 205, definitely has a first baseman's body as he looks at strike 1 on the outside edge again. It's much like that ball, but just a little more on the inside edge, in the outside corner. So Quiggle definitely could have an opportunity to work into a first baseman. It stands in from the right side of the plate, looking to hit. Fouls one high and off to the left, over towards those mountains, sitting in the viewable mountains, I should say, towards left field on the left side of the stadium. That's the mountains sort of in center and right are covered by some trees right behind the wall. So Quiggle looks at strike 3 on the outside edge. Nice pitch there by Pope. Got Quiggle looking for the first out of the inning. That's Pope's first strikeout of the night. As Connor Denning steps in, and back-to-back guys that are playing in the abnormal positions, as we just mentioned, Quiggle playing first, Denning playing left, and told me in batting practice tonight as he swings at the first pitch, that's slicing down the left field line over the fence, but foul. So Denning, the switch hitter, batting lefty against the right-hander Pope. Going back to Denning, saying this is the first time he's played outfield in 3 years, Connor. Can't be quite an easy transition when you're playing a bunch of collegiate ball players.
Yeah, you're right. But he has a great bat. We saw when he was taking batting practice. We saw him hit a couple home runs from the left side.
As he takes strike 2 on the lower outside corner. And you're definitely right, Denning, we saw hit some bombs over the fence here at Herman Brothers Field. But he's down 0-2, so he has to protect with 1 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. Denning grounds one up the middle, ranging over to his left is Osuna, but misplays it, and that ball will dribble into the outfield. So Denning will reach on the error by Osuna. You know, that's the 3rd inning of this game, Connor, and that's just kind of some early season woes. Granted, these guys did have a spring season, but it's been about a month for most of these guys since they last played.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to get the rust off and get back into baseball shape. They're not going to be too bent out of shape, but still you got to get back into it when you have time off.
As the lefty Braden Merritt steps up to the plate and swings through strike 1. Merritt playing center tonight for the Miners. Definitely had an excellent season at New Mexico this past spring. Batted .293 with a .344 on base percentage. So the lefty laces one out in the left center field, ranging over is Collins. He makes the grab So Connor Denning will have to jog back over to first as the Miners now with 2 outs as the right fielder Tristan Woods steps in.
There's been a lot of action in the outfield in these short 2 innings. A lot of flyouts to left, fly out to center. They're getting the bat and the ball. Just can't find a hole.
Tristan Woods, the big lefty, as Pope checks Denning over at first. Woods, the Service High School grad out of Anchorage, Alaska. He has 2 outs, and he's swung through the first pitch by Pope for an 0-1 count. Miners still trailing the Chinooks 1-0. As Denning stands on first, reaching on that air. Second pitch to Woods is outside for ball 2. Ties up the count at 1. Tristan Woods, another big frame for the Miners, standing at 6'5". Pope quickly checks over to Denning, or tries to check Denning, who slides in safely. So with 2 outs, Denning definitely not with a big lead. Doesn't want to get picked off. The 1-1 to Woods. Well outside for ball 2. Pope, Connor, seems to really, especially against these left-handers, likes to work that outer half of the plate. When he misses, it's on the outside, and when he hits, it's on the outside.
Yeah, really can't go wrong missing out. You miss in, you get into their power zone. You miss out, you don't risk much.
As the 2-1 pitch is swung through by Tristan Woods to tie up the count of 2. So with 2 outs, count at 2-2. Connor Denning stands on first for the Miners. Pope delivers for the Chinooks. Denning on the move. The throw down is mishandled by Osuna. And he is called out to end the inning. So the Miners once again leave one on and stay scoreless. So the Chinooks will hold the 1-0 lead as we head into the 3rd inning. Welcome back in to our broadcast here, the Chugiak-Eagle Chinooks and the Matsu Miners. And excuse me, on that last play, it was Tristan Woods swinging through a strike 3, so he goes down strike 3 swinging. I apologize for the confusion there. So Woods striking out to end the inning. But we're now in the top half of the 3rd inning. The Chinooks stepping back up to the plate, and they're back to the top of the order. Seth Bellinger, the center fielder, will step back in.
Leading off the Chinooks third, center fielder number 8, Seth Ballinger.
Ballinger, the left-hander, struck out swinging in his first at-bat. So Monaghan with 5 strikeouts, Connor, already through 2 innings. You could say he's dealing.
Yes, he is.
Monaghan winds and fires. The first pitch of this inning is high and in the middle of the plate for ball 1. Monaghan, really, other than those back-to-back doubles he gave up in the first inning, has been nothing but really flawless dealing out there on the mound tonight for the Miners. Monaghan's 1-0. Bounced over to first. Quiggle makes the play, and he'll make the play himself for the first out this inning. And Kona Quiggle definitely looking pretty good out there for a first start at first base, Connor. Seemed pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, he's holding his own over at first.
As Bailey Collins, the right fielder, steps in. He'll look at strike 1, low and on that lower edge from Monaghan. Once again, another lefty on lefty matchup. Collins 1 for 5 in his last game. As he takes ball 1, outside half of the plate. Collins 1 for 5 with an RBI. Or excuse me, 0 for 5. Sacrifice. So he swings through, fouls one straight back to the cage. 1-2 count with 1 out. Monaghan looking for his 6th strikeout of the night as he's ahead in this one. Head in this count, 1-2. Chinooks still leading the Miners 1-0. Monaghan's 1-2. Grounded over to short. Swift fields, fires over to first with that quick throw to Quiggle, who receives the throw from Swift in time for out number 2. Excellent play there from Drew Swift pretty routinely. He makes those routine plays look pretty easy, Connor.
Yeah, he does. Very smooth in his transition, quick getting the ball out of his glove, and a very strong arm over at short.
So stepping in now is Jordan Wharton. If you remember in his last at-bat, had an RBI double. Fortunately for him, nobody on right now, but can definitely get a 2-out rally going. Wharton, the right-hander, swings and fouls back for strike 1 for this count. 1-1 with 2 outs. Wharton. Monaghan kicks, delivers for ball 2 on the outer inside edge. The 2-1 for Monaghan. Low and inside for ball 3. Wharton has worked a hitter's count, 3-1. And in his last at-bat, worked it full. So he's definitely has the eye on the ball real well. And he'll take ball 4 high for Monaghan's first walk of the season. And first of the game. So the Chinooks with 2 outs have a man on base.
The DH number 44.
Stepping in now, cleanup hitter, designated hitter Nick Kreutzer, the big lefty. Stands in at 6'4" and 250 pounds. So he's definitely an opposing figure for Monaghan, who stands out on the mound. But was definitely not fearful of him as he struck him out in his last at-bat. Monaghan, quick kick. This ball off the inside of the bat. Owen doesn't really have to take a step. Can of corn to end the inning. So the Chinooks leave 1 on board. Off a walk. And no runs given up by Monaghan. But they still trail the Chinooks 1-0 as we head into the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Welcome back in to the broadcast as the Chinooks lead the Miners 1-0. The Miners looking to get their first run of the season in this game in the bottom half of the inning. And up to bat will actually be starting pitcher Nolan Monaghan. And got to say, Connor, real good opening day crowd here for the Miners. A lot of loyal Mat-Su Miners fans, and all listening at home tonight or wherever you may be, we thank you very much.
It was great to see the support of the community coming out. It's baseball season. They've been waiting for this time for a long time.
And Nolan Monaghan steps in, the left-hander. Receives quite the ovation, sort of the hometown kid out of Wasilla, Alaska, right down the road from Palmer. As he looks at ball 1 on the outer half of the plate from Bryan Pope. Pope, the right-hander, delivers and paints that outside edge once again, 1-1 count. So pitcher-on-pitcher matchup currently. As the 1-1 fouled off to the left side from Monaghan. Connor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe I saw Nolan Monaghan take a batting practice at bat in the past few days of practice or earlier.
I haven't seen him, but he looks comfortable in the plate.
Definitely does. Comfortable and confident. The 1-2 from Pope. Lined foul and left over towards the bullpen of the Chinooks. Over on the left side of the field.
With 5 more players coming in for tomorrow, I believe we're going to have the designated hitter back in the lineup. Relief, Calvary's coming.
And the 1-2 fouled back once again from Monaghan. 3 straight fouls off, or foul pitches there from Nolan. And you got to love this. A guy normally probably wouldn't get a lot of at-bats, labeled as a pitcher only. Definitely letting it be known that, hey, I can swing the lumber a little bit. So the 1-2 grounded over to the shortstop, Osuna, and that'll actually dribble into left center field. So Monaghan will reach off, which was kind of a funky hop there to Osuna, who was coming in to make a pretty routine play. He just took a weird funky hop on him and dribbled out in the left field. So Monaghan reaches on the air nevertheless.
Now batting, your shortstop.
And up to the plate now is Drew Swift, who reached on a infield single in his last at-bat. In the gap between third and short, but Osuna just couldn't quite make the play because of how far out of the range it was. He looks at ball 1, low and away. The 1-0 count with nobody out and 1 man on for the Miners. That's Monaghan over at first as the Miners trail the Chinooks 1-0. Swift lines one into right center field. That one slicing. Looks like it's going to drop, and it does. Making the play is right fielder Collins. He throws into second, where Swift will stand in safely, and Monaghan advances to third easily as well. So Drew Swift, starting off his season, can't ask for much more than that, as he delivers the no-out double to advance Monaghan to third, and Swift now standing on second. Second baseman Brett Owen steps in. So that error showing to be pretty costly there by Osuna. And Brett Owen steps in, the right-hander. Flew out to center in his last at-bat, and if he does much of the same, it would be exactly a great spot for a sacrifice. The first pitch to Owen. Low and in for strike 1. Owen, nice season for the Kansas State Wildcats this past spring, batting .235 with a .333 on-base percentage through 39 games played. He did have 10 RBIs as well. The 0-1 to Owen. Bounces just over the plate for ball 1. Ties up the count at 1. So the Miners threatening with nobody out and 2 men on second and third. Both runners in scoring position. This is a prime position for the Miners to pounce. The 1-1 from Pope. He kicks and fires. Low and inside for strike 2. Owen seems to be yelling at himself, as it may have been a pitch he wanted to hit but just laid off. The 1-2 to Owen has to protect and try to throw one out there to bring in a first run of the season and the game for the Miners. Pope from the stretch takes a deep breath, throws one in, bounces it in front of the plate. Excellent stop there by the catcher Fullerton. Count tied up at 2. Once again, nobody out here for the Miners. Both runners in scoring position. The second baseman, right-hander Brett Owen, steps in, or has stepped in. The 2-2 from Pope. Hit straight up in the air into foul ground right in front of the bullpen. Fullerton makes the catch right in front of their own dugout on the left side. So Owen goes down with the pop fly for the first out of the inning.
Now batting.
Only one down is the third hitter. In the 3 spot, I should say, David Avitia steps in, the catcher. Decides to go no batting gloves. Says it's just more comfortable for him without it. Has tried batting gloves, but said it just didn't quite feel right. So he'll look at ball 1 in the dirt. And yet again, another pitch in the dirt there from Pope, Connor. That's kind of been his miss this inning, as he's facing some more right-handers, as there's more right-handers at the top of this Miners lineup than at the bottom where you see more lefties.
Well, there's really no danger missing low. It might be a wild pitch. That's as worse as it can get. You can't have David beat you.
1-0 from Avitia. He lines one into left field. Two-hopper before Arsuna receives it. Monaghan will score. Swift is held up at third. So the Miners get their first run of the season and the first run of this game to tie it up at 1 apiece. Off the line drive single from David Avitia. Tied up at 1 now. And with only 1 out, the Miners definitely still have a chance to add to this lead. Excellent piece of hitting there by David Avitia. Not trying to do too much with it, just lined in a two-hopper to Largusa. And a little mound visit there from pitching coach Chris Beck. Trying to calm down Bryan Pope, who's been a little rattled this inning. Definitely cruised through those first 2 innings, not giving up any runs, only 1 hit.
A second time through the lineups, always going to be more difficult than the first time. You get used to the pitcher. You can know what pitches he throws. You talk to your other teammates as they come back into the dugout, and you see what he's got going.
So switch hitter Danny Wright stepping in with 1 out and runners on the corners. Wright obviously batting left-handed, facing the right-hander Pope. Swift on third and Avitia on first. The 1-0 to Wright, fouled straight back over the press box. One is the count with 1 out. Miners and Chinooks tied up at 1 as well. Wright dribbles one up to the first baseman and tossed over, but not in time. Wright runs it out as Dopp sort of struggled getting to that one, in the toss over to first where Pope was covering was just a little too late. So the Miners get their second run on the board as Swift came flying in, and they take their first lead of this game, 2-1.
Now batting your first baseman, number 24. Kona.
Excellent hustle there by Danny Wright, running that one out.
That's why you got to run it out.
As
Never know what
Quiggle,
can happen.
first pitch swinging, deep left field. That one hops to the wall. Around third, Avitia is going to score. Right around second, he'll stand in the third. Coach Ben Taylor will hold him up. And Kona Quiggle delivers big for the Miners as he has a 1-out, 1-run double. Quiggle with an absolute monster of an oppo shot there, Connor, as he's in the left field, left side of the plate, bombed it over to left field or a 1-hop to the wall. And Avitia coming in to score. So the Miners hold a 3-1 lead. We're going to see a pitching change here by the Chinooks. When we do, we'll bring the rest of this bottom half of the inning for you on Miners.com.
Here's your first winner.
Welcome back into MatsuMiners.com here. As the Miners leading 3-1, we notice a pitching change as Andrew Almquist steps in from Miami University.
381-6476.
And, of course, we have to thank our sponsor, the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska, the owner, Jim Ruda. Make sure if you're here in Alaska, go check out Napa Auto Parts.
Yeah, I really can't thank them enough for allowing us to broadcast all of your Matsu Miners games. If it wasn't for them, we would still be in the lower 48, Connor.
Yes, we would.
So Pope comes out after 2 1/3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and 1 strikeout. As we said, stepping in, number 10, Andrew Almquist, the right-hander. And the first batter he'll face is Connor Denning. So runners on second and third with 1 out for the switch-hitting Denning. As he's batting lefty, facing another right-hander. And Almquist. And his right stands on third as he had an RBI single, and then Kona Quiggle followed that up with an RBI double. As Denning looks at ball 1 on the outside. Almquist comes set. Pitches into Denning. Denning flies one high. That is slicing foul, looking like it's out of play. And it is. It actually bounces off one of those tables just outside in the left field of the ballpark. And Connor heading out looking like we got a pretty packed house.
Yes, we do. We're
tonight.
Still waiting for our official attendance numbers. I know we'll get that number sometime later in the broadcast.
For sure. So the count tied up at 1 right now with 1 down. Miners leading 3-1 over the Chinooks. Off this 3-1 inning, and could be more here with only 1 out as Denning's in. 3-run inning so far. Denning calls time as Almquist is taking his time out on the mound.
Well, what you want to do, you want to calm everything down. There's a lot of momentum going the Miners' way. So if you're the Chinooks, you just want to slow it down, try to break up the momentum.
And once again, the catcher this time, Fullerton, calls time, and he wants to go talk to his pitcher. You know, new pitcher, new season, as we said, sort of the early season, working out kind of everything, trying to get on the same page, know the pitch that he likes to throw, know the signals that he wants.
And it's always hard with a runner on second base. That's probably what that meeting was about. You have to mix up your signals.
So the 1-1 to Denning is fouled off. Dribbler just over to the left side and foul ground. So 1-2 count to Denning. With 1 out, runners on second and third for the Miners. They hold a 3-1 lead. Almquist comes set. Misses well outside for ball 2. Ties up the count at 2-2. With just 1 out, Denning trying to work the count. Denning in his last at-bat reached on an error by the shortstop Osuna. Looked to reach again, and this time swings through an outside pitch from Almquist. Almost looked like Connor Denning wanted to stop his swing, but when he got about 3/4 through, it was a little too late to do that.
Yeah.
Now batting your center fielder number 4.
So Denning strikes out, and that'll be out Andrew Almquist's first strikeout of the night. Second out of the inning for the Chinooks, and Braden Merritt will step in, the left-handed center fielder. They'll try to keep this rally alive and extend the Miners' 3-1 lead. Almquist comes set. The righty delivers. Low and away for ball 1 to Merritt. Merritt flew out to left field in his last at-bat. Merritt, as we said earlier, out of New Mexico. And this one he checks off, low and away, past ball. Wright comes in to score. Quiggle holds at third. So the Miners extend their lead 4-1 off the passed ball. So that ball was low and away, and Fullerton just couldn't quite handle it as it bounced all the way to the backstop. So 2-0 to Merritt now with 2 outs. And they did check over to third because Merritt did try to swing. He did hold off. The 2-0 to Merritt. He's swinging through. This one's lined in the left, ranging over and making the tough catch on the run is Lagusa to end the inning, but not before the Miners get their first 4 runs of the season and this game to take a 4-1 lead here in the 3rd inning. Keep it here. We'll be right back on Mat2Miners.com.
Welcome back into the broadcast, everybody. Take it down low. Count 1-0. This one is a high pop up into center field. Merritt's under it. Makes the catch. 1 down. Short work for Monaghan. He retires the first
Now
round
batting,
here at the top of the 4th.
catcher number 23, J. Paul Fullerton.
Next batter up is number 23, J. Paul Fullerton, the catcher. He takes this one low and outside. Ball 1. Monaghan kicks and deals. This one swung on and hit into deep right center field. Not deep enough. As Woods is under it, makes a one-hand catch. Retired. Ball sounded nice coming off the bat. Just didn't have enough power to get it into the right center field. More towards right field, now that we look back on it. Coming into the plate now, number 9, Largusa, the left fielder. He takes this one in for a called strike. Count is 0-1. 2 outs. The Miners had just scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to take the lead. They're winning 4-1. Monaghan misses inside with a ball, evens the count at 1-1. So the Miners, 4 runs on 5 hits. Chinooks, 1 run on 2. Also have 2 errors. Monaghan misses inside again. Count in favor of Largusa, 2-1. Working quickly now. Misses low and inside this time. Starting to lose him at 3-1. Since the first inning. Ever since the first inning, Monaghan has been doing pretty well, but he loses Largusa here to a walk. 2nd walk given up today.
Now batting, first baseman number 30, Danny Dopp.
2 outs, runners on first. Danny Dopp at the plate. This one misses for a ball. 1-0. Straight back to Monaghan. He's going to run this one over. Underhand toss to Quiggle. And side retired. So not much happening here in the top of the fourth. As the Miners are leading 4-1. Keep it here. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Fielder number 36, Tristan Woods.
Tristan Woods will lead us off here in the bottom of the fourth. Miners are leading the Chinooks 4-1. First pitch misses outside. Andrew Almquist on the mound for the Chinooks. Working from the stretch, finds the outside corner, evens up the count at 1-1. Tristan struck out his first time up. Watches this one fly outside. Count sits at 2-1. So the Miners, their last time up, they scored 4 runs on 4 hits. Wood swings through this one. Ties up the count. It's at 2-2. Almquist sets, deals, and a swing and a miss from Tristan Woods. That's one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
You know, Connor Woods out of baseball for a few years, coming back and playing for the Miners this season. May have just struck out for the second time this game, but a guy that's putting in work. He's always here during the optional batting hours and definitely always in the cage and always taking that extra BP when given the opportunity.
First Chris from Almquist is in there for a called strike. And you're right, we're always seeing Tristan Woods coming here. He's taking the extra BP. He's here before many of us. Second pitch is in there, called strike. Almquist quickly ahead 0-2. With the more at-bats for Tristan Woods, the better he'll see the ball and the more hits he'll start getting. And again, it's only game 1. Almquist misses way outside on that last pitch. Count is now 1-2. Swing and a miss from Monaghan. He goes down swinging. So there are quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Mat-Su Miners up 4-1. This brings off the leadoff hitter, Drew Swift. Swift, his first time up, had a single, advance to second base. Miners couldn't get him around. And then on the top of the third, the bottom of the third, Swift led off with a double as he takes this first pitch from Almquist high and inside.
It looked like Swift pulled out a little bunt there. Obviously decided to pull back with the ball being called, but
offers at this pitch. Fly ball into foul territory down the right field line. Goes over into the Miners fan section. Count is even at 1-1. Swift off to a hot start. First 2 at-bats, 2 hits. 1 run for him. 1 stolen base.
If you're Drew Swift, you had to be excited for this season, being named preseason Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, and didn't really have. So he had sort of a subpar spring season, I should say, but definitely a chance to really reimburse himself against really top-tier talent here in the Alaskan Baseball League. And he's so far done that, being 2 for 2 on the day.
Yes, he has. You watch that go in for strike 2. Count is even at 2-2. Watches the breaking pitch go high and inside. That fills up the count. 3-2, 2 outs, nobody on base. Miners leading 4-1. And the pitch fouled straight back. Hits our lovely press box.
Gotta say, watch out to our lovely colleague Kevin Moore, broadcaster for the Chinooks, as I believe that hit probably right above his window next to us.
Yes, it did. Almquist set, ready, deals. Fires inside, called strike. Well, nothing happening there for the Miners as they go down quietly. Matsu still leading the Chinooks 4-1. You're listening to the Matsu Miners here on the Miner Radio. New pitcher for the Matsu Miners on the mound. That's
And the
Kyle
pitcher for the
King.
Miners out of Bakersfield, California, and Cal State Bakersfield.
Kyle
Number 10,
King.
Kyle.
Number 10, a left-handed pitcher. Sits at 5'10", 160 pounds. From Cal State Bakersfield. He's a redshirt junior. Also
Leading
from
off the
Bakersfield,
fifth,
California.
Shortstop, number 11, Gregory.
His first
Ozuna.
batter he'll fate is Gregory Ozuna. Ozuna in his first at-bat. And the top of the second struck out. As he offers at the first pitch from King. Count sits at 0-1. We're here in the top of the 5th inning. Matsu Miners leading the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks 4-1. As a long fly ball into center field. That one is tracked down by Merritt. He makes a nice catch moving back. The one long out for Kyle King.
Braden Merritt showing off the wheels there in center field. He sped all the way to the right center gap to make the grab.
Showing a lot of distance.
Oh, yeah.
And now the next batter in. Going to the top of the order. Seth Bollinger. watches this one go in for a ball. King, the lefty, looking in to Evita. And misses low and outside. First time this connection is happening for Kyle King and David Evita. He's got the call, sets, pitch, and this one misses as well. King falls behind 3-0. Bollinger at the plate, offers a bunt, pulls it back in time. That's ball 4. So after one long out for Kyle King, he surrenders a walk to Seth Ballinger.
Now batting right fielder number
And he'll
18,
face
Bailey
Bailey Collins, the right fielder for the Chinooks. Collins had a double earlier in the game against Monaghan as he watches this one go in for a ball. Runner on first base for the Chinooks. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Mat-Su Miners leading 4-1. Kyle King on the mound. Offers a pitch. Excuse me. Going over to first base to check in. Now he's looking back into his catcher. Kyle King to Bailey Collins. This one found away by Collins. Evens up the count at 1-1. Kyle King set. And goes over to first, and he has him. Quiggle has the ball, faking him out. Underhand toss. Over to, that's number 5. We'll get you a number on that one. We're learning the lineup as well as you. Number 5, Connor Denning tags him out over at second base as the Miners get their second out. Pickoff from Kyle King. So now 2 away. The count still remains at 1-1. Bailey Collins. King's pitch skips into the dirt. Good block by Evita. And now the count is 2-1. Pitch from King. Behind Bailey Collins. No ill will there. Just missed behind him.
Yeah, that was literally Connor behind Bailey Collins' back. If he would have moved to try to back it out of the plate, he would have backed into the pitch.
Pitch from King. Swung on and grounded softly into foul territory along the right field line. Assistant coach Tyler LeBron picked up that pitch, or that ball. One of the new members of the coaching staff, along with Jeff Erlab. King's pitch is swung on and missed from Collins. Count is full. 3-2, 2 outs. Miners leading 4-1 over the Chinooks. It's opening day for the Miners. They're looking for their first win of the season. King's pitch is blasted into right center field, moving all the way back into the wall. Tristan Woods has it. Firing in. Around goes Collins all the way to third. The throw is not going to be on time. A stand-up triple for Bailey Collins. And the Chinooks are back in business.
What an at-bat there from Collins. Works the count full and then gets a pitch to hit real well, which you wouldn't really expect on a 3-2, and absolutely blast one to the wall. And Tristan Woods, there's really nothing he could do there except run that one down and throw it into his cutoff man.
Nice job by Woods to get that ball in quickly. So there's still 2 away here. Jordan Wharton takes his first pitch for a called strike. Count is at 0-1. Run on third. King misses high. Evens count at 1-1. Bailey Collins, a stand-up triple. He's standing on third. Kyle King on the mound. And Jordan Wharton at the plate. So far today, he has a double in the first inning. Walked his second time up in the third. And swings on that pitch to put the count at 1-2. King looking to go through this inning unscathed. Has to deal with a runner in scoring position. Set and deals. Misses with the breaking pitch outside. And the count is now even at 2-2. King fires in. Swing and a miss. And it looks like he might have gotten a foul piece of it. And he did.
Wow, just an itty-bitty tip to Connor. It seemed as if Wharton swung through that, but just barely nipped it with the end of the bat.
So now we'll try this all over again. 2-2, 2 outs. Pitch misses high from King. That puts the count at full. Jordan Wharton from Akron, Ohio. He's a junior at Indiana Wesleyan University. He's facing off against Kyle King. 3-2, 2 outs. The pitch misses outside. And King surrenders his second walk.
That one just missed Connor right on the edge. I thought as if home plate umpire was going to ring him up. Obviously, he does have a better view since we are back here in the box and he's right over the plate.
One thing I've learned over the years, you cannot argue with the umpire. No matter what, he is always right.
Yep. Some managers, unfortunately, have to learn that the hard way and then watch the rest of the game from their television sets.
That is true. Coming out for a little mound visit. This is the pitching coach, Jeff Erlab, from Horizon High School in Phoenix, Arizona. Erlab spent 6 years throughout the Oakland A's team in the MLB. Went through their farm system. Never really got up to the major leagues, but, you know, we were talking with him the other day. He enjoyed all of his 6 years. His arm went, and he has no regrets. Now he's giving back, and he's coaching.
Definitely, and he can share those experiences that he had with all these minor players who definitely have a good chance of making it into the MLB, whether it be actually getting all the way to the majors or just working the way through different farm systems and organizations. He can sort of tell them the ropes.
First pitch is popped up to shortstop. Swift has it, and that retires the side. So Kyle King got himself into a little bit of trouble, but he's able to navigate out of it. At the end of the inning, 2 walks surrendered, no damage. As Matsu Miners still leading the Chinooks 4-1. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Welcome back. You're listening to the Matsu Miners and the Eagle River Chinooks. The Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks. Brett Owen is in at the plate. He takes the first pitch for a called strike. And the second pitch from Almquist is also in there for a called strike. Nice breaking pitch. So Almquist quickly ahead 0-2 on Brett Owen. Owen fouls this one straight back and over our press box. Stays alive. And the pitch, a little bit high. Owen with a good eye. Count sits at 1-2. Andrew Almquist from Liberty, Ohio. He's a senior at Miami University of Ohio. Misses with that last pitch. It's a ball. 2-2 count. Nobody out. We're here at the top of the fifth inning. Bottom of the fifth inning. Matsu Miners here at the plate. Brett Owen, Avita, and Danny Wright. Due up here. Owen watches the last one go by. Works a full count. And this one is poked into left center field. The left fielder coming on makes the one-handed grab. And Owen is retired.
Now batting, catcher number
Mark
22,
Goosh
David
making the
Avitia.
one-handed catch. And David Avitia now comes in for his at-bat. Last time up, he had a single, an RBI single. He watches that fastball go high. And then his first time up, he flied out to left field. Thinks about offering at that pitch, but watches it go by for strike one. 1-1 count, one out here in the bottom of the fifth. Avitia watches this one go by for a strike. Count is now 1-2. Matsu Miners are leading the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks 4-1. That fastball rides high. Evens up the count at 2-2.
BTO, one of 7 minor hitters to have a hit so far in this game.
Swing and a miss by Vitia. That's the second out here at the bottom of the fifth.
I apologize. One of 7 minors to reach base in this
Now
game.
batting your third baseman, number 7, Danny Wright.
Danny Wright now coming in. Wright had a single his last time up. Also had an RBI. Then flew out to left field in his first at-bat. He watches the first pitch from Almquist go by for a ball. Wants a timeout. Takes a little breather. Slowing down Almquist's rhythm. And the pitch swung on, fouled out over the press box.
Did I just hear some glass break maybe back there?
I heard some glass break. I know the beer shack is back there. I think those are some cans, though. And Wright fouls off another one.
Well, I guess we can hope everything's okay behind us.
It was either the breaking of glass or the sound of breaking of glass from Wolfgang Winter. Over there, he's the PA man for the Matsu Miners. Might be having a little fun.
It's true.
So Danny Wright, the third baseman, steps in. Count is at 1-2, 2 outs. This one's a little number up to the pitcher. Almquist has it, fires over to first, and the side is retired. So the Matsu Miners, no hits, no runs, nobody left on base as we're moving on into the top of the sixth inning.
Hey, folks, get your
You're listening to the Matsu
Got
Miners.
3 more winners go down.
We're back here in the top of the 6th inning. Matsu Miners are leading the Chinooks 4-1. They've out-hit them 5-3 and have had less. Actually, we're tied at errors 2-2. That's the way the scoreboard reads, all the way in right field. Coming in to the plate, Luke Van Dover, second baseman for the Chinooks. He will face Kyle King on the mound in for his second inning of work. King's first pitch is a fastball in the outside corner for a called strike. Sunshine is starting to break through the clouds here. Daylight is 19 hours here in Alaska. As the ball misses, low and inside, evens up the count at 1-1.
And Connor, you mentioned the daylight. It's definitely an adjustment that all players pretty much say every year that they have to get used to, is it being pretty much really sunny when they're trying to catch some Z's.
Fastball from King is grounded up to the pitcher, and he fires over to first. In time, one away. Kyle King had to make sure he had enough time, sprinted over to the ball, made sure he got the out.
Definitely real athletic play from King coming off the mound. Sort of a awkwardly positioned little dribbler, but King made the barehanded throw just in time. You really enjoy that, knowing you have a pitcher on the mound that is athletic enough to make that kind of play. That makes it a lot easier on the first baseman and catcher, especially when it's hit to that little awkward no man's land over on the right side.
So now with one away, King's pitch is a fastball in there for a called strike. Counts at 0-1. One out here in the top of the 6th. The Miners leading the Chinooks 4-1. This is a pop fly coming back towards the press area. And falls out of play.
A lot of youngsters hopping out of their seats trying to chase that one down, trying to take home a souvenir tonight.
So Kyle King ahead in the count, 0-2. Misses with the breaking pitch. Sets the count now at 1-2.
Good miss there from King. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Way to waste the breaking pitch. Start it low, and then obviously it'll dive lower. So if the batter does decide to swing, it'll definitely be a hard hit.
King's pitch, and it hits him. A hit by pitch from Kyle King to J. Paul Fullerton. That puts a man on first base.
Now batting left fielder number 9.
King just let that fastball ride a little too far inside as it hits Fullerton. He'll head to first base. And the Chinooks definitely with plenty of time to come back in this game. Only down 3, but would like to start their rally sooner rather than later, especially if this Miners pitching keeps up and keeps dominating like they have for most of this game.
So now, Largusta comes to the plate. He watches the first pitch go by for a ball. Run at first, one out. Kyle King on the mound. Drawing Largusta at the plate. Fouls off this pitch along the right field line and out of play. Over the new indoor batting cages for the Matsu Miners. And the pitch from King. This one's a pop fly into right field. Woods eyes it up, makes a two-handed grab, and now there are 2 down. So after hitting Paul Fullerton,
number 30, Danny Duff.
He's able to get Largusa to pop out. And now at the plate, Danny Dopp, the first baseman. Dopp will watch the first pitch go outside for a ball 1. Danny Dopp flied out to right field his first time up, then grounded out to the pitcher in search for his first hit today. King sets, deals, and Dopp with a swing and a foul ball straight over Avita.
I tell you what, King wound back and fired that one. That's got to be one of his higher velocity fastballs on the night.
David Avitia making sure he has King on the same page. And this one also hits Danny Dopp. So Kyle King has hit 2 batters in this inning. There's still 2 outs.
King just seems like he's having struggles sort of finding the zone. But as we've alluded to so many times tonight, it's just probably some early season woes coming out of King right now. I know, speaking with our wonderful general manager, Pete Christopher, he did miss his flight due to some traffic up to Alaska a few days ago. So maybe he's still a little rattled by that situation.
The Californian traffic. This is grounded over to shortstop Swift. He underhand tosses it over to Owing to retire the side. So 2 hit by pitches, but no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base. The Mat-Su Miners are leading the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks 4-1. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Leading off for your Miners, first baseman number 24.
Welcome back into the broadcast. Mat-Su Miners still leading the Chinooks 4-1. New pitcher in there. That's number 55, Sam Brace for the Chinooks. And then at the plate for the Miners, number 24, Chugiak-Eagle. He watched the first one for a ball. Second pitch is in there for a called strike. That evens up the count at 1-1. And the pitch catches the outside corner. Count goes to 1-2. So Sam Brace from Matamora, Illinois, 6'5", 255 pounds. This one's popped up from Quiggle. Out of play. Count remains at 1-2. So Brace, 255 pounds, bats right, throws left. A junior from Lawrence Technical. Lawrence Technological. He misses with the last pitch. Counts now even at 2-2, and Quiggle swings at this pitch. Popped up to the shortstop, who ranges over and makes a catch for the first out.
Now
Osuna
batting your left field in 5.
making the catch
Connor
out into
Denning.
short left field. Is able to retire Quiggle. And now comes to the plate Connor Denning. Denning struck out swinging his last time up and then reached on an error by Osuna. The first pitch from Brace is in there for a called strike. Brace dealing. And Denning swinging. Fouled out. Over to the right side and out of play. Count is quickly 0-2 for Connor Denning. Denning hit .372 during his college ball. And watches that one go inside. Connor Denning, of course, attended Mesa Community College in Arizona. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. Swings at this one. Ground ball over second base. Fires over to first in time, 2 away. And over, making sure he secures that ball. And now quickly the Miners have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Speedy Merritt steps in, showing off that speed earlier in the game, ranging a long fly ball down.
And the first pitch attempts a bunt, pulls back. Ball sailed outside. 1-0. And the second pitch, this one is bunted. Third baseman Wharton fields it, but it is not in time. Braden Merritt uses his speed to get on base. And that's his first base hit of the season.
And what a way to do it, by a little small ball action. Laying one down, using his speed. When you're a lefty like that, you're already closer to the batter's box rather than being a righty, as he flies down that first base line.
So with that bunt base hit, I'll bring up Tristan Woods. Also in search for his first hit this season. Brace checked over on Merritt. Merritt dove back easily. Brace's pitch. Swing and a miss from Woods. That puts a count at 0-1. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Miners leading the Chinooks 4-1. Sam Brace on the mound. Tristan Woods at the plate. Swing and a miss. Braden Merritt takes off and steals the base. First stolen base for Braden Merritt. The second stolen base on the season for the Miners. Now with the runner in scoring position, Tristan Woods will try to bat him in. He watches that pitch sail low and outside. Count at 1-2. Braden Merritt at second. Tristan Woods at the plate. Sam Brace on the mound. Lefty. Trying to look Merritt back. Looks into his catcher. And fires in a strike for a strike 3 called. So Tristan Woods goes down swinging. Miners do get 1 hit. No runs. No errors. 1 left on base. As the Chinooks are coming to the plate in the top of the 7th. Keep it here. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Leading off for the Chinooks here in the top of the seventh. Center fielder number 8, Seth Ballinger.
We're here in the top of the seventh. And once again, the official sponsor of the Matsu Minor Internet broadcast is Napa Auto Parts of Alaska. The owner, Jim Ruda. If you're here in Alaska, make sure to go out to Napa Auto Parts. And for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, I throw it back over to my fellow broadcaster, Brad Walker.
Thank you so kindly, Connor, as Kyle King delivers an inside ball to start out the count to leadoff hitter Seth Ballinger, 1-0. As he leads off the 7th. Miners holding a 4-1 lead after that third inning explosion of an inning where they tacked on all 4 of the runs. The 1-0 to Ballinger, low and away for ball 2. Ballinger is 0 for 2 on the day as he looks at strike 1 on the low outside corner. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat, grounded to the first baseman in his second at-bat, and drew a walk in his second, where he did get picked off by King, who had a nice sneaky move there. So King's 2-1 to Ballinger. He fouls it, dribbles it over the right side into the Miners' dugout. Looks like relief man Sean Hughes makes a little jog out to receive the foul ball. As we do have some action in the Miners' bullpen, seems of Nathan Bach up and warming up, the right-hander. The 2-2 from King to Ballinger. Hit by Ballinger, bounces it over to Quiggle, who tosses it to King, ranging over to first to make the first out of the inning. As Ballinger is set down off the ground out to Quiggle.
Now batting right fielder number 18.
So with one down,
Bailey Collins.
the right fielder Bailey Collins steps in, the left-hander. So we'll see another lefty-on-lefty matchup between King and Collins. Collins steps in. He is 2 for 3 on the day. Has scored his team's only run. With one out, King delivers. And another grounder straight over to Quiggle. This time he takes it himself to get the second out of the inning. So Connor, back-to-back ground balls over there to Kona Quiggle.
Even though that might not be his natural position, he is doing very well there.
I would say so. Doesn't seem to be having any troubles.
Jordan.
And, most of these guys growing up probably played a bunch of different positions and probably didn't just start at one and stay with it. So I'm sure at one point in his life, Kona Quiggle has played first base.
Absolutely.
As Jordan Wharton steps in, the third baseman. King kicks, delivers an inside fastball low and away. Low and in for ball 1. King putting in some quality relief work for Monaghan. And Wharton grounds one over to third. Danny Wright misplays it, and unfortunately, so does Drew Swift. So that one will dribble into left field. And Jordan Wharton will reach. On an error by Danny Wright. That's the Miners' third error of the game.
Now batting the designated hitter number 44, Nick.
And as we said earlier in the broadcast, a lot of people are still shaking off the rust. We haven't had a lot of fielding time here yet. A lot of players just got in within the last couple days. So we still have to get used to this Alaskan weather and, like I said, shake off the rust.
As the left-handed designated hitter, Kreutzer steps in. King checks over to first to keep Wharton honest. Yeah, as you just mentioned, even the other day at practice for the Miners as we went, it was sort of raining and damp out, so they couldn't even use the field at all. And really, only pitchers got to throw some pen and some BP in our new cages. So for the fielder's sake, they unfortunately couldn't do any real-life work as Kreutzer hits one off the inside of his bat. One hopper to Owen, who tosses it over to first. That'll end the inning, and the Miners will hold on to a 4-1 lead.
Hey, folks, it's stand up and stretch
As we
time.
head into the 7th inning stretch.
And
Keep it here on
stretch those
Matsu
vocal
Miners
cords.
Radio.
Here we Leading off for your minors, your pitcher number 10, Kyle.
Stepping into the plate now
King.
is Kyle King, the man on the mound. Relief man on the mound, I should say, as he takes strike one. King batting right-handed, pitches left-handed. As he takes strike two on the lower half of the plate. So King falling ahead early to Sam Brace, 0-2. As he looks at strike three, home plate umpire rings him up for the first out of the inning. So Brace with another strikeout.
Shortstop number 2.
And now stepping up to the plate
Swift.
is number 2, Drew Swift, who's had a hot night in his first two at-bats. Had a single, a double, and then unfortunately struck out in his last at-bat. The 2 for 3 ain't too shabby so far to start this young season. As he takes strike one, low and inside. Drew Swift, also known as Swifty. He swings and hits this one. Pop up into center field, ranging under it is Bollinger, and he makes the grab for out number 2 of the inning. So with 2 outs, the Miners still lead the Chinooks. Chinooks, 4-1. And the Chinooks scoring their only run in the first inning, and the Miners scoring all 4 of their runs in the third. As Brett Owen steps to the plate and takes a strike on the outside edge. And the Miners looking for that third straight ABL title this season. This is only game 1, so we have a long way until we get to that point where you could say they get in contention. As Owen takes ball 1. And he looks at another ball in the lower half of the plate. So count runs up to 2-1. The Miners, the 2 previous seasons before winning the title, they finished second twice and now have won it twice, Connor.
Yes, they have.
So after you could say the heartbreak of 2 losses brings the joy of 2 wins. So the 3-1 to Owen is low and outside. He kind of hesitated on the walk to first, but the ump said go ahead and go as he looks at ball 4, and Owen reaches with 2 outs with the walk.
Now batting,
As David Avitia steps in, the catcher. Had himself an interesting evening tonight, going 1 for 3. He does have a hit on the evening. So Owen on first. Brace checks him. But Owen back in time with 2 outs and a 3-1 lead. Owen didn't seem to have too much of an aggressive lead there. So with 2 outs, Brace kicks and delivers. High for ball 1. And in this series last year between the Miners and the Chinooks, the Miners won the series 10-1, Connor, and the Miners with a plus 28 run differential in those 11 games. And Brace checks over to Owen, gets Owen working. Now he's caught in a rundown, and he'll be tagged out in between first and second by the shortstop, Usana. So Owen gets tagged out for the third out of the inning. And the Miners once again are held scoreless, but still hold that 4-1 lead over the Chinooks. We'll bring in the 8th inning on Matsu Minor Radio when we come back. Welcome back into Matsu Minor Radio as we're home sweet home, Herman Brothers Field for the first time this season. It's opening day for the Matsu Miners. Not for the visiting Chugiak-Eagle Chinooks, excuse me. We're sitting at 1-1, but this is the first game for the Matsu Miners. And we have a pitching change out there on the mound as Nathan Bach steps in for the first time this season. Our first right-hander for the Miners tonight. Just finished his junior season out of O'Fallon, Missouri. Attends school at Southeastern Missouri, along with minor teammate Danny Wright. So he relieves Kyle King, who came in and did his job exactly. 3 innings pitched, only gave up 1 hit and no runs through those 3 innings. King did have quite the amount of walks there and a couple hit by pitches, but did work his way out of jams, Connor.
Yep, that's all that matters. He put up zeros on the board, and the Matsu Miners are still leading. I'm sure manager Ben Taylor is very happy about that.
And Bach, it seems, will try to close it out here in these final 2 innings.
Second baseman number 5, Luke Vandover.
So Bach, the right-hander, will start out by facing Luke Vandover, the second baseman for the Chinooks. Vandover 0 for 3 on the night. This would be quite the time to get his first hit. And in the 8th inning, 6 outs left for the Chinooks. I'm sure they would definitely like to get a rally started here, considering they're down 3 runs, 4-1. First pitch from Bach. Inside corner for strike 1. The Miners, as long with winning this game 4-1 so far, also leading the hit count 6-3. As Bach puts some high cheddar up there, and Vandover swinging through it for strike 2. Bach ahead early, 0-2. Nathan Bach was sort of that quick delivery, kind of related to much like a pitcher or a catcher throwing down, and once again he gets Vandover swinging at the high cheddar cheese for out number 1 and Bach's first strikeout of the game.
Vandover not happy when he decided to swing there, but it's hard. You don't know if you're going to swing at whatever pitch it might be. And then 20/20 vision, and we see more clearly.
They have to agree with that one as the catcher J. Paul Fullerton steps in the game for the Chinooks. And he's first pitch swinging as flies one well over the left side. An absolute beauty for baseball tonight here in Palmer. As Bach's second pitch is low and inside for ball 1. We're sitting at a nice brisk 59 degrees. Can't ask for much more as that wind that was coming in from the center field has definitely died down throughout the game. And as the 1-1 pitch is low and in for ball 2, 2-1 count. Going back the flag pole where the flag obviously is out in deep center behind the center field wall is sitting still. The flag hangs. So 2-1 to J. Paul Fullerton. Bach working on the mound for the Miners. His first appearance this season and in this game tonight. Miners leading 4-1. The 2-1 from Bach is outside and away to reach a hitter's count for J. Paul Fullerton with 1 out. 3-1. Bach with that nice long red hair. Nice flow he's got going on. The 3-1. Low and away. That'll put J. Paul Fullerton on base. He reaches on 4 straight balls thrown by Bach. After Fullerton fouled the first one off, Bach comes at him with 4 straight balls, and Fullerton just wasn't biting. With Fullerton on first, that brings up Jaron Largusa. Largusa, the center fielder, as a man on first. And the first pitch ball, low from Bach. Bach. That's 5 straight balls now thrown from him. And David Avitia will call time and chat with his pitcher. And once again, this is just really I believe, 4th time that the whole minors team has actually been together for practice. So definitely still working out some things as Avita calms down his pitcher Bach. And we're ready to get started again. The 1-0 count, 1 down. Chinooks trailing the minors 4-1. Largusa fouls one back over to the right side. Even up the count at 1.
Well, right now, Avitia is the only catcher for the minors. The next catcher, don't know when he's flying in, but Austin Pinarini from Gonzaga will join us as soon as he can. So this has been all Avitia all the time as he's working with these pitchers.
A 1-1 by Bach is swung through there by Largusa, who falls to 1-2, excuse me. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Reached in his first at-bat on an error by the third baseman, Danny Wright. Hard hit ball, just unfortunately wasn't played by Wright, but that'll be worked out here in a few weeks, I'm sure. The 1-2 from Bach. Swung through on an inside pitch again by Largusa. Bach sets down another Chinook for the second out of the inning. Bach's second strikeout of this game as well, as this is his first inning of work. So Chinooks still with that runner on first. 2 outs. Would like to get something going. They're down to 4 outs. And down 4-1 here in the top half of the 8th inning. Bach comes set. Fires a fastball in there for strike 1. The first baseman, number 30, Danny Dopp, just couldn't quite catch up to it. I tell you what, Nathan Bach really has that fastball working tonight, Connor.
Yes, he does.
So he sets, fires it low, and just misses away. And Bach, really with just 3 pitches, a 4-seamer, 2-seamer, and slider, really likes to work that high velocity stuff. And when you're a reliever and you have it working, it's almost unhittable. With 1-1, Bach takes a step off the mound to gather himself. He'll step back in, look into Avitia, his catcher, for the sign. Checks over at first, kicks, delivers, fouled well back, over the right side. Quiggle under it and makes the catch right in front of his dugout. So the first baseman, Kona Quiggle, retires the 3rd out of this inning for the Chinooks. And the minors hold them scoreless once again. So that has been 7 straight scoreless innings for the Chinooks. The minors look to tack on one more, maybe more than just one more, as they hold a 4-1 lead as we head into the bottom half of the 8th inning here on Mat-Su Minor Radio.
For the Chinooks, out of Downington.
Welcome back into Matsu Minor Radio. We're here in the bottom half of the eighth. The Miners holding a 4-1 lead over the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks.
And batting for your Miners.
And we have a new pitcher out there on the mound, number 50, River Carbone. He's out of Downington, Pennsylvania, and attends Arizona Christian University. He relieves Sam Brace, who pitched 2 innings of work, only allowing 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, and no runs. And stepping in for the Miners now, right-hander David Avitia, who looks at ball 1 low.
And Brad, I think this might be the tallest pitcher we see all season. Listed at 6'7". Makes me feel small.
Definitely an opposing figure, especially on that mound. That'll give you a few feet. Definitely standing up there above the rest. Avita fouls one off over to the right side. 1-1 count. Avita doing excellent work behind the plate tonight. He even has a hit to add to that. RBI, I should say. RBI single he had back in the 3rd inning. As he takes ball 2 low and away, pardon me. The 2-1 to Avitia. Dribbles one just foul on the left side. Tie the count up at 2. You know, Avitia was a very highly recruited prospect out of Arizona. Was ranked the 3rd best catching prospect according to PerfectGame.com. As he attends Grand Canyon University. Didn't get a lot of at-bats this past season. So speaking to him a few days ago, he was definitely eager and chomping at the bit to get in. Finally play. As he looks at another ball, works the count full. So Connor, especially most of these guys, they're just big recruits, and especially the ones that don't seem to play as much as they thought they would, or maybe there's the guy simply more talented in there before him. They're really excited to play and finally get the summer ball at bats and games in. As Avitia looks at ball 4 low and away, he'll trot on over to first.
Well, this is their chance to showcase what they can do. You know, a lot of eyes are on them. Obviously, the whole community of Palmer is here to come out and support and root them on and see how good they can be.
That's definitely, you just mentioned town of Palmer, a nice crowd here. A lot of seats full for opening night as Danny Wright steps in, switch hitting 3rd baseman. Puts out a bunt, pulls back for ball 1. It was low and away. So the 3rd baseman, Wharton, playing just inside the lip of the grass here, about a step in. The 1-0 count. Carbone's pitch. Bounced over to second. Throw over to second. Got 1, but they will not try to turn 2. As Usana just simply did not have enough time to flip it over to first to try to twist the double play.
Now adding your first baseman.
So Wright will reach on a fielder's choice. Chugiak-Eagle steps in. The left-handed batting first baseman for the Miners as he looks at ball 1 out and away. So with 1 out, Danny Wright stands on first after reaching on a fielder's choice. Carbone from the stretch, kicks and fires. Chugiak-Eagle swinging through that one. He was off balance, definitely wasn't expecting an off speed there. The count rises to 1-1. Chugiak-Eagle with the big RBI double in his second at-bat of the game back in the 3rd inning. That monster 4-run 3rd inning by the Miners. As Chugiak-Eagle takes another low and outside ball. 2-1 with 1 out. Miners leading 4-1. Both teams only scoring in 1 inning. Chinooks in the first with their 1 run, and the Miners in the 3rd with 4 as Carbone checks over to Wright, who slides back in safely. Getting that nice white uniform dirty for the first time this season. The 2-1 with 1 down. Carbone looks over. Pitches 1 in. Chugiak-Eagle Lines one over to the opposite field. That one will dribble close to the wall around second, and rounding third is right. He'll stand up at third as Coach Taylor holds him up, and Quiggle is in with a stand-up double here in the bottom of the eighth with one out. The Miners put runners in scoring position and have a chance to extend this 4-1 lead off Kona Quiggle's one-out double.
That was a great piece of hitting by Quiggle. Able to go the opposite way. Narrowly makes it inside the left field foul line, but a hit's a hit. You go the opposite way, you take the shift off. I know there was no shift there, but if you start pulling the ball, then you can bring the shift over. But now you've proven to the league, you've proven to everyone here that you can hit it the other way.
So the infield will play a few steps in now in front of the base paths as Connor Denning steps in, the switch hitter, back over to the left side facing another righty. And he's first pitch swinging, bloops one up in the left field. That one's going to drop in for one. Right will score easily. Quiggle's held up at third as Connor Denning delivers a one-out, one RBI single to extend the Mat-Su Miners lead over the Chinooks 5-1. Excellent piece of hitting there by Denning, the switch hitter. And what a time to get your first hit of the season and first hit of the night. As Braden Merritt steps in. Reached on a bunt in his last at-bat in the sixth inning. Got a base hit out of it. Using his speedness. So with one out, runners on the corner for the Miners. Merritt in on the left side. Takes an inside ball. 1-0. So the Miners can extend this lead to larger than a lead that can come back with just one swing of the bat. Merritt takes strike one, low and away. 1-1.
Always good to tack on some insurance runs as we near late into the game.
Nobody up in the Miners' pen, so I believe they will ride Nathan Bach in the ninth inning. And he has to be smiling as they tacked on another run and definitely another chance to do so here in the fifth. And Carbone took a step over to third. That's going to be a box, so Quiggle will score, and Denning will move over to second, and the Miners will extend this lead to 5, 6-1 over the Chinooks. So Carbone wasn't quite sure what he was thinking, trying to get Quiggle over at third. Not as Merritt dribbles one foul over to the right side. Going back to that, Carbone, I doubt Quiggle was anyway thinking of stealing home, or he really didn't have too much an aggressive lead. Maybe he was trying to do the quick double move to get Denning off guard at first, but neither runner had a big lead, and therefore the Miners luck out and get another run out of it.
Well, sometimes you just get inside the pitcher's head. Carbone just seeing runners on base in scoring position. And sometimes things like that happen.
Braden Merritt is looking at a 1-2 count with one down. Connor Denning stands on second. Miners still with a chance to keep this rally going here in the bottom half of the eighth inning. The 1-2 from Carbone. Swung on and missed on the outside fastball by Merritt. He'll get set down on strikes for the second out of the inning.
Now batting your right fielder, number 36, Tristan Woods.
So Tristan Woods steps in, the left-hander. Sort of a hometown favorite here. A lot of favorite players. When you have a Alaskan native, as Woods is, hear a few more claps and cheers as he takes ball one on the outer edge. Denning still stands on second after advancing over off the box from Carbone. And Woods fouls one back to even up the count at 1. Count at 1, 2 down. Miners leading 6-1 here at home at Herman Brothers Field on opening day, trying to get their first victory of the season as Woods swings through. The count comes to 1-2. Miners obviously going 30-14 last season, and as we mentioned, winning the championship once again, going back-to-back as they look for the three-peat, as they led pretty much season beginning to season end last year. Led the league. They may have lost it for just a tad bit there, but for the most part, Connor, the Miners were your season champs literally throughout the regular season and the playoffs.
They were there to stay right from the start, and they're looking to do that again this year.
So Woods looks at a ball, 2-2 count with 2 outs. Woods swings through for strike 3 and out number 3 in the inning, but not before
get out your white tickets, your 50-50 tickets.
Miners tack on a couple more, and we'll head into the top of the ninth to see if the Miners can close it out here on Mat-Su Miner Radio. Miners 6, Chinooks 1. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mat-Su Miner Radio as we head into the top half of the ninth inning, and Nathan Bach looking to finish the job for the Miners as they hold a 6-1 lead over the Chinooks. Miners looking for the first win of the season on opening day and would definitely love to deliver a W for this wonderful home crowd that has come out to the ballpark today. So definitely thank all the supporters making the trip. And for those listening at home or wherever you may be, we thank you as well for listening to Connor and I. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this game and hopefully a Miners victory. And actually, right on cue, we have an official fan attendance count from the wonderful Denise Christopher. The fan attendance tonight, 897 fans coming out to the ballpark. So what a turnout. And once again, thank you to the wonderful Denise Christopher for giving us that information, going around and figuring it out for us. So stepping in at the top of the ninth, going to be the 9-1-2 batters due up for the Chinooks as Gregory Osuna starts this one off by fouling one off to the left, grounds one over to the left side. So 0-1 with nobody out. Nathan Bach on the mound for the Miners. Bach winds and delivers strike 2 on the inner half of the plate, and Osuna couldn't quite catch up to. So Bach ahead early to start this ninth inning. And really, Connor, the pitching all game long by the Miners has been absolutely off the chain.
Jeff Verblab really has done a nice job getting his pitchers ready for this opening day. It's going to be interesting to see how he does with the pitching rotation tomorrow, as it's a doubleheader against the Pilots.
So Bach misses high and inside for ball 1. A 1-2. Bach winds and fires, and Osuna pokes one over, and Quiggle ranges over to his left to make the grab on the soft liner for out number 1 of the inning. So the Chinooks now down to their final 2 outs as the top of their order comes up. Seth Bollinger, center fielder.
Number 8, Seth Ballinger.
who is 0 for 2 on the day, or excuse me, 0 for 3, reached in the 5th inning on a walk, and then was picked off by Kyle King, excuse me. With 1 out, here in the top of the 9th, 6-1 Miners lead. Bach delivers an off-speed pitch that has Ballinger swinging off his toes for strike 1. The 0-1 from Bach misses high and away. And as you mentioned, definitely an interesting rotation. You can't ask for much more out of the Miners pitchers, only using 3 tonight. So I know that was the game plan heading in, speaking to a few coaches earlier, and they've executed it to perfection. Hopefully they can find 2 more outs as Bach blows one by Ballinger again for strike 2. 1-2 is the count to Seth Ballinger. One and two, 1 down. Miners looking to close it out for their first win of the season on opening day. As Bach misses high, 2-2. Again, the Miners winning last season series against the Chinooks 10-1. Went 10-1 against the Chinooks last season. Looking to go 1-0 to start off this season series. And high and away again. Bach misses. So Ballinger, after falling to 1-2, works his way back to 3 to a 3-2 count. And the Miners players definitely some incentive today, as yesterday the tally reached to 14 former Miners players being drafted. So definitely some extra motivation for these current Minor players. As Bach misses low and away for ball 4, Ballinger will take his base. But Connor, 14 former Miners selected this past year's draft. Definitely, if you're playing for them this year, that's got to be something to look forward to, something to be proud of, to be known you're going to be a part of this tradition.
Well, the majority of those who were drafted came from the 2016 and 2017 team, both teams, of course, being the champions. So a lot of winning mentality coming out through the Mat-Su Miners, and it's translating into the MLB draft.
So with 1 down and a man on first, Collins steps into the plate. He looks at strike 1 low. Middle infielders, Owen and Swift playing in a double play depth. And a double play would end this game, as the Miners lead 6-1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Bach from the stretch gets a grounder over to Swift. Swift over to Owen. Owen tosses over to first, but will not make it in time. And off that grounder, Collins' bat went flying. Just misses the pitching mound over to the left side. That was weird. It was hit off the end of the bat there by Collins, and it just left his hand.
Hey, oh yeah, he did. He did break the bat. As the umpire goes out to check and make sure Bach's all right. Didn't see anything go Bach's way, but that's the first broken bat of the season. At least that we've seen.
Yeah, the all wooden bat league, which all of these summer collegiate leagues are, so definitely going to see some more, I'm sure. So 2 outs, the Chinooks down to their final out in this game. Here, opening day at Herman Brothers Field for the Mat-Su Miners. First pitch from Bach. Gets Wharton swinging as they allow Collins, who stole second. They're going to let him go for free. No throw down there by Vitia. Which, when you're up 5, you're just focused on the batter right now, especially with 2 outs. Bach's second pitch, fouled back, 0-2. Bach has the Chinooks on to their final strike. The Miners looking for their first win here on opening day and trying to put the Chinooks down to a 1-2 record. 0-2, 2 down. Bach from the stretch, low and away for ball 1. Good waste of a pitch there by Nathan Bach. When you're up in the count, probably for the excitement factor, the fans wanted a strikeout pitch, but Bach with a decision to just waste one to try to get Wharton swinging through. The 1-2, 2 down, box pitch. Gets Wharton. Did he go? He did. That does it. The Mat-Su Miners go on to win their first game of the season. They win on opening day in front of a crowd of 897, 6-1 over the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks. So the Chinooks dropped to 1-2, and the Miners improved to 1-0 on their opening day of the season. Fox shuts it down. The Miners go on to win 6-1. This is Brad Walker, and for Connor Mills next to me. Stay tuned. We will have a post-game show here in a few minutes with interviews from head skipper Ben Taylor and our player of the game. So stay tuned to look forward to that. As far as this broadcast goes, once again, the Miners are victorious over the Chinooks 6-1, and we will see you next time.